ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. For all people. The message I have for you today is for all people. As I prepare to bring this message, I think about the social media that has shared so many voices on the same subject. And here I am today. I know that many of you don't believe in God, and I understand that. You believe in a God, you just don't know it. What you are really saying is that you don't believe in this wonderful, this loving God. Where is it? Or where is He, you say? But let me share something with you. I never thought I'd live to be past 18 years. One day believing I could do anything. I took on a mission that would prove successful or death. But it was success that was the victor. A fate in later life, I began to question if perhaps there was some outside help there. And on another occasion, I left home to do a day's deed. Left home happy and confident I'd return happy. However, death had its agenda. And this agenda included me. And it included my end. But at the advance of death and its onslaught, something happened. As if the moment turned upside down. An act no human could have mastered, and yet its occurrence is as obvious as this communique here with you. So obvious, in fact, it proved more powerful and defended and different than any human seen. And this power was unseen. The bringer of this power was unseen. And yet, its result, obvious. Because this power is only known by its actions. And that action was an introduction to a different power and to a different world. So my purpose is to deliver this message. Every human wants peace, prosperity, and joy. But how do you get that peace, that prosperity, and that joy? Well, there are some things that must be considered. And what is perhaps one of the most beneficial or greatest things that could occur in anyone's life after being born? And that is survival. And when you think about survival, you think about those things that are common amongst every human being on the face of the earth. As common amongst them as the air they breathe. It's common amongst them as the water they drink. It's common amongst them as the fire that heats them and guides them. Common amongst every human. The message I have for you is that I am to remind you that you are living on a planet we call planet, and the existence of this planet has nothing to do with any power that you and I have ever laid eyes on or could. This planet which we live on is like a womb, able to produce whatever is needed. And what is it pregnated with? Every resource that could meet that billet call. This earth, I'm talking slow because I want to have an impact. And you, the people, the only part you have had in the manifestation of humans on earth is that which was given you. And if that is taken away, there will be no more. But it is still a fate given to humans. And we exist by the power that is unseen. And yet, we are the manifestation. We are the humans that have all of those common needs to exist. Now, the power that is unseen wants you to know that the earth was made by that power. It was made for the purpose of whomever would ever need it. The humans and all living creatures on the earth are placed here by that same unseen power, knowing that in order to survive, every last one of them would not only need air and water and fire, it would also need food. And the earth has been given the ability, having received the seed, to produce the kinds of food that the seed produce, which are the representation of the desires and wants of the people, the human people, all of them. In order to survive, they need shelter. Shelter from the elements, whether it's rain, cold, sleet, ice, whatever, heat. The ability, the resources necessary have been given by that same power. No man, that same power. And God Almighty, I call that unseen power, wants every human on earth to know that this has been provided for. Clothing has been provided for. And when we have the ability to eat, to be clothed, and to be housed, we can feel real good at these accomplishments, these understandings, these revelations, these realities, new realities. But if we want to progress, every human would need education. What you learn, share it to someone else without them having to go through the stress to learn. But you're stressing. Did the testing. Established the information. Not only do you need education, you need to be protected if you're sick. You need health care. Every human on the earth needs health care. Every human on the earth, my Heavenly Father wants you to know. There's not a man, woman, or child that is above the need of health care. Even the coming into this world and the leaving. So now you look at the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, the health care, and the way you've been trained, the way you've been brought up, the way you've been taught in the ways of your life. The next question is, how are these things to be met? And it can only be met to produce peace and prosperity and joy if it is done the way according to the script. And the script is written in the hearts and in the minds of those who have sought and have found and walked into the light. These are met because the unseen power that did all of this thus far, knowing that it would take an involvement of something or someone to manifest these goods and services, that are required by the people. So every individual has been given a gift, something that they would get the greatest pleasure, the greatest joy out of doing. We call it a career, but not only a career, one of their own choosing. One of their own choosing. Think about that for a moment. You got a choice to be and do anything you want to do. And nobody's trying to prevent you from doing it. What they're trying to do is to make available to you whatever resource you need to aid you in being the best that you can be. Wow. Creator made it possible for all the things that you, the people of the world, need, that you, the people of the world, put your hands to it, doing that part of it which is best to you. And in that process, you would create all of these wonderful goods and services. In fact, you, the people, would create heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. And in order to make sure that everybody was satisfied, it was not imposed on you. It was given choice. Choice. You can have it if you want it. You don't have to have it if you don't want it. And here you are with this choice. And what have you decided? We're living in a world that have decided that they don't want the peace. They don't want the prosperity. They don't want the joy. Because they have lived in ignorance and don't know the benefit of the truth. And so, in order to maintain life, to maintain suitability, without rocking the boat, they do what they have been given to do to maintain existence in this system, under these guides. And here, you don't have to have, you're not entitled according to them. According to them, it's not a right, but a privilege. A privilege to have food. A privilege to have clothing. A privilege. Santa says, you better be nice. Gotta listen, he's checking it twice. So if you're not nice and are naughty, you will know the difference. And so, these decisions on this earth have been decided by men who want to place themselves in that position of heaven. In other words, they want to reap all of the wonderful benefits that they can imagine, and you to produce them. And everywhere across the globe, you got different systems set up. Some called communism, socialism, dictatorships, democracies, whatever. They all exist in disaccord with the one that would produce peace and prosperity and joy, that which all of the people say they want. And these leaders exist because they represent the anti-God. They don't want you to enjoy life. They want it. And so they will do everything to destroy you if you try. They will lock you up in jail. They expose you to everybody they think will embarrass you. They try to make you commit suicide, and they will even kill you. They will drop bombs on one another. This is the way of man. Now, in a situation like this, what is the call? The call is this: that in ignorance you can walk no other way than the way of the world. If you're in America, you're going to walk the way of Donald Trump. I don't care how ugly you think Donald Trump is in regards to his policies toward other people. When you are an American, this is exactly who you are. Now, you might be upset about some of the things Donald Trump do, and you want to make it known. But a lot of things you're totally in agreement with Donald Trump. That makes you still a Donald Trump. For his good as you see it, and his bad as you don't see it, or do see it. And that's for everybody. The same people of Russia, whatever Putin is doing, you are doing it. That's the same thing for whatever parts of Africa, whatever parts of Europe. Everything that is being done is done by the people. I don't care if you loving God with all your heart, going out killing everybody in the name of God for your love for God. You are still a part of the world. Why? Because you don't know the truth. You're listening to man and not the Spirit. For the Spirit says that you should love ye one another. And by this will all men know that you are an agent of truth, an agent of love, an agent of peace and prosperity and joy, a worker of God. They will know this by your love. And how many of you are loving? The power unseen says it might require your giving it up totally. And though all of the things of the world are made to be used for the benefit of producing that peace and prosperity and joy for humans, as the atom is the energy that does good things, but it is used for bad things. And so the choices that have been made are still available to you. You still have them. But one who walks into light makes a choice. That means that they see the truth. And in that truth, they see the power. And it's not man, woman, black, white, American, or other. It's not that. They see the way of life that produces peace and prosperity and joy. And that's what they want. And the evidence of their wanting it is that they stand up for it. They're not going along with anything that's going against that peace and that prosperity and that joy. Yes, they may be offered the presidency of the United States. They may be offered executive officer of the United Nations. They might be offered chairmanship of the New World Order. In other words, according to man's standard, they may be offered the seat of God as ruler over the earth. But one who knows the truth will turn it down and walk another way, the way of truth, knowing that in so doing, this is the beginning of a brand new life. Because they are going to literally be born into the Spirit. They have gone through a period of gestation. But when you turn against the devil say you got to go, and they will kill you. But to a free person, they ain't wondering what took so long. Because it's time to be born again. We have a choice, ladies and gentlemen. We have a real choice. To survive, do you want to pick up an arm and fight like cats and dogs, killing each other, hoping that this time you make it? Or can you stand the truth and be willing to be something else than a slave? I want to thank you so very much. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying bye-bye.